rewrite in English with completely unique wording while preserving meaning and key information. Begin with a bold, attention-grabbing opening that summarizes the core issue, and weave in a teaser to sustain curiosity. Maintain a friendly, conversational yet professional tone. Do not shorten the content. If possible, expand with clarifications or helpful examples to aid beginners. Clearly highlight controversial points and invite reader engagement with questions at the end. But here's where it gets controversial. A massive Russian drone and missile assault has once again struck Ukraine's energy infrastructure, underscoring the fragility of critical power lifelines and the human toll behind each target. A nocturnal barrage coordinated by Russia struck Ukraine with hundreds of attack drones and missiles. Ukrainian authorities report that a large number of Shahed-type drones, along with cruise and ballistic missiles, were unleashed across the country, targeting electricity generation, transmission, and distribution facilities. In the Zaporizhzhia region, one of the two power lines feeding the nuclear plant was disconnected, even as the plant temporarily operated on backup power. President Volodymyr Zelensky condemned the strikes on social media, noting that the assault aimed to disrupt the lives of millions of Ukrainians and that peaceful cities were targeted during the St. Nicholas Day holiday. Explosions were recorded in multiple cities, including Poltava, Lutsk, Odessa, Zaporizhzhia, and Biela Tserkva, with widespread damage across Kiev, Chernihiv, Lviv, Odessa, Zaporizhzhia, Dnipropetrovsk, Mykolaiv, and Kharkiv oblasts according to the Energy Ministry. In Chernihiv Oblast, residential areas and critical infrastructure were hit by drones, according to the state emergency services. The attack was described as quite severe by Ukrenergo, Ukraine's grid operator, with substations and generation facilities damaged, and one of the Zaporizhzhia plant's power lines disconnected. Safety constraints have forced other nuclear plants to operate at reduced capacity. The International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, confirmed that the Zaporizhzhia plant briefly lost off-site power for about half an hour, the 11th such incident since Russia's full-scale invasion. The 330 kV line has been restored, while the 750 kV line remains offline. Thermal power plants operated by DTEK, Ukraine's largest private energy company, also suffered serious damage in this sixth mass attack since October. DTEK reported substantial damage to generation equipment, though specific plants were not named for security reasons. As of the morning after the strikes, outages persisted in Odessa, Chernihiv, Kiev, Kharkiv, Dnipropetrovsk, and Mykolaiv oblasts, with hourly blackout schedules across all regions. Civilian casualties were confirmed, with at least 8 people injured. Wounds included shrapnel injuries in Kiev Oblast, Dnipropetrovsk Oblast, and Lviv Oblast. Fastiv's train station was reportedly struck, with railway infrastructure heavily shelled. Kiev's governor noted injuries in nearby districts, including 2 women with shrapnel wounds. Fires erupted in a warehouse in Novy Petrivtsi and a home in Bucha, while multiple cities experienced fires in residential areas and critical infrastructure. Fires also broke out in Pavlograd and Kryvyi Rih, along with other locations in Dnipropetrovsk Oblast. An 11-year-old boy was injured in Nikopol. Across the western border, Poland reported scrambled fighter jets to defend its airspace amid reports of the extended attack on western Ukraine. In the broader context, information on the full extent of damage and targeting remains incomplete in some regions. The conflict continues to unfold against a backdrop of renewed Western diplomatic efforts and ongoing combat operations. Discussion prompts: do you think the attacks reflect a strategic shift toward targeting civilian infrastructure, or are they primarily aimed at degrading Ukraine's wartime capabilities? How should international actors balance humanitarian concerns with deterrence and security guarantees in response to such sustained aggression?